Hey, how's it going, everyone? Teysind here, and firstly, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you all had an awesome holiday time. I've been away for the past 3 to 4 weeks or so the recent videos that was coming out, I actually pre-recorded back in December. So I hope everyone's doing well. And yeah, today I want to talk about my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch live presentation, going over my highlights, concerns, things going forward. So I'm going to also talk about things that have been revealed after the presentation in the past few days since. So yeah, kicking things off, starting off with a highlight, I'll say going with the big one, Zelda Breath of the Wild. It was a fantastic trailer. When I was watching this, the first 30 seconds to a minute of it, I was like, oh, we're just seeing more of this really expansive world again. We've seen this plenty of times, and then all of a sudden we heard voice acting, and as you all know, or people who don't play Zelda, voice acting is a new thing, and it just gave so much more depth to the trailer. And then all of a sudden we're just seeing all these cinematics. We're seeing Zelda, we're seeing Link, we're seeing them interact, we're seeing emotions, Zelda crying, and just everything about it. Even this little scene where they showed the flower, I thought I was watching a Final Fantasy trailer or like an opening cinematic to a Final Fantasy game. It was just so breathtaking, pardon the pun. And it was just, this is what I really wanted, and this is what makes me like, I was really excited for Zelda, and then sort of my hype sort of slowly went down as I went from 2015 to 2016 and 2016 to 2017. But this has brought it way back up. This is everything that I love about RPGs, action adventures. This is story element in expansive world that you can explore. So I really love that. Going on to the sort of the lows of Zelda, and this is more so things that have been revealed after the presentation. So Zelda was announced to have, so it's coming both to the Wii U and the Switch on the same day, March 3rd, and it's coming on the Switch as a special edition and a master edition in the US. Now that came up for pre-orders here in Australia at EB Games. I pre-ordered instantly. I was a bit disappointed in that it was, with conversion rate and everything after taxes, we're paying about $145 to $150 for the master edition. But what really upset me is that the following day it changed on the website to limited edition. I checked my pre-order and it changed to limited edition. And then I noticed on the limited edition they quietly removed the Sheikah carrying case from it. But they didn't even take the price down. So basically we're paying an extra $15 to $20 US for an edition that is missing an item. But I feel even more for Europe because their edition, limited edition, only comes with the game, sword, and soundtrack. So they're also missing the tapestry sort of world map and the Sheikah coin. So this really got me frustrated because Nintendo were talking about removing region locking and making things region free, which is another awesome thing about the presentation. But yet we're still having these region locked or region exclusive game accessories or editions, collector's edition. I feel like the merchandise should not be region locked in that, North America gets this edition with the case and everything, but the Australian edition, it's absent from it, and same goes with the European edition. So it was a bit of a downlight. But moving on to next highlight, this was the standout for me, and this is what makes me most excited for getting a Nintendo Switch, and that is the announcement of Xenoblade 2. And I was shocked, obviously going from rumors. Never take rumors too seriously until they become fact, if they become fact. But there was rumors that it was going to be Xenoblade Chronicles X port, just because the Wii U didn't get that many people supporting it, so they thought, I thought that would be a great way that people could then play that game. But no, we got Xenoblade 2. In case there's confusion with Xenoblade 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the actual Xenoblade series is just called Xenoblade in Japan, Xenoblade X, Xenoblade 2. Over in Europe, in the West, I should say, in North America, it's called Xenoblade Chronicles. So it's actually Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So don't get confused if you think, oh, hang on, is this sort of a different game or same type of game? It's still a Xenoblade Chronicles game. So that was really exciting. And they said 2017. Now, I don't know if Nintendo are going to do like a Breath of the Wild and it may get pushed back to 2018 or so. And it could very well likely come in 2017, but as with the previous Xenoblade games, that was in Japan. It came out first, and then about a year or so later, at least with Xenoblade Chronicles X in the West, or a bit under a year, I think, because of obviously making it all the translations, everything for the English and all the other European languages. So we may get 2018 over in, in the West, Europe, North America and stuff. But still, I'm excited for that. Moving on to a next awesome thing, Splatoon 2. I was really excited to see this, and some people give Splatoon a bit of hate or a bit of dislike, but I really enjoy it. It's one of those games you have to play, and then you realize how enjoying it is if it's something that you do sort of find yourself loving. And some people say it's a party game. These are people who haven't played. Maybe some people have played and they find it's a party game and not so much a shooter. I do find a shooter is very much like a paintball style shooting, because you are taking out your opponent. It's not just this focus on splaying the area or your turf. You have to take out your opponents, and it does become quite difficult and tricky, especially when you're playing against people that play so much. But still, it's not like for me, it's not like a primary game that I would get a system for. It would be one of the primary games. I say primary game for me is like Zelda, Super Mario Odyssey, which I'll get to in a second, Xenoblade, and then games like Splatoon, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. They're games that are like just a step below, but they still feel like this void of this multiplayer and online experience. So that's what I loved, and I really like that they gave it a brand new start with Splatoon 2. They didn't just bring a support of Splatoon 1 and add some extra stuff. They've cut it clean and they've gone to a sequel. So I think that is awesome. So yeah, moving on to a next thing that I really liked about the presentation, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And this isn't so much about the presentation I liked. I just like that we at least know it's coming to the Switch. There's some new stuff, new characters, the battle mode looks awesome and stuff like that. Disappointments though, I felt like this is a game that they should have shown us more in the presentation. So it was afterwards that we got a trailer, like on Nintendo's YouTube website, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, telling us the launch, release, and everything, April 28th, I believe. That should have been in the actual live presentation, not putting so much time, or as much time as they did on the 1-2 switch and the arms and stuff like that. They could have given us stuff like the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Mario, what was I saying, not Super Mario, Super Bomberman R. Give us more of that instead of like quick flashes and stuff. And another disappointment I have is that, one, I felt like it would have been really strong if this came alongside Zelda right on release, and I would have expected it to, because this is essentially a port that's got a few extras in it from the Wii U. It's not a new Mario Kart, and I felt like if it was a new Mario Kart, which I felt like we should have gone to Mario Kart 9 instead, then they release it whenever. Or in the case that they want to sort of bring some good games to the beginning, get us excited, give us a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe right on day one. But they didn't do that, so I guess a bit disappointing. And also it's been recently revealed, or at least somewhere, I can't remember, I believe Game Explain covered it, but it's only containing the original, I think 48 tracks there were, so there's no additional tracks. I was hoping there would be more, so a bit disappointing there, considering I've already got on the Wii U, and I have to pay for a full game just for that. But I guess we'll see how it goes. It's good that you can have the local multiplayer, stuff like that, up to 8 players connect on the Switch. That's exciting. So yeah, moving on to other things. So the actual presentation itself, I didn't like that they went with this whole live presentation. I think they could have done it much better with a Nintendo Direct. Everything short but sweet, or more precise and to the point, but instead they went with this presentation, and the atmosphere was, I guess at the beginning they showed all the Japanese businessmen in front of everyone with stern face, and it sort of brought my tone down a bit. I was really excited. Oh, okay, and I don't know if this is like a cultural thing or if this is more of investors all there. It would have been cool if we saw this audience of just consumers there watching, or again, a Nintendo Direct, because I think it really felt, I don't know, something didn't feel right about it. And I felt like they could have just done much better with a Direct if they had everyone's attention right then and there, and other things like putting too much time on 1-2 switch and stuff. When they're saying they're trying to move away from the Wii and the Wii U, and I get that they're incorporating this stuff. I think it's good. This could be good for virtual console games. It is sort of catering to all markets now, the Switch. We've got the hardcore, and we've got the core gamers, I should say. Then we've got sort of the casual gamers, and people are interested in these other sort of quirky things with the Motion Plus and everything. But still, they put too much time on that, and they went to that first, and it was sort of like, I got a bit bored and confused, and then finally they came out with the good stuff, and I felt a bit, not drained, but I don't know. So I was in that exact same hype mood. It would have been cool if they came out straight away with all those sort of awesome games. Core games that we're expecting, and it would have been cool if instead of just flashing all these games at the end, they gave a bit more time to them instead, like I said, Bomberman R and stuff like that. Street Fighter 2 Ultra, the final challenger, tell us a bit more about that. I guess we will find stuff about that, but then tease some of the really big IPs that we haven't seen in ages. So Metroid Prime, they could have easily just ended the presentation just with some little Metroid Prime, like little theme or little clip, just so we know it's coming, stuff like that. Other games that we could, just know it's coming. I'm just trying to think. Metroid Prime, maybe something with a Donkey Kong. I guess, yeah. I don't know too much about Donkey Kong, but I just really would have loved something to let us know about Metroid Prime. But again, there are so many things I found out after that I'm really excited about. Some things with the hardware too. The prices, I was really disappointed to see how much the Pro Controller is costing, especially when it costs more than like a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One controller. And those controllers actually have built-in Bluetooth audio and stuff. I believe it's Bluetooth audio, or at least you can plug your headphones into them. I don't think you can do that with the Pro Controller. Stuff like the dock, it costs a lot. I wonder whether if the Switch is successful and is gaining some of those 3DS sort of consumers, whether they would then release a Switch without the dock, maybe for $200 US or so. Again, very expensive. The whole controller scheme with the neon sort of controllers, I wish they just had given us a red Nintendo Switch. All things red and white, just like the exact logo, the front of that Switch, everything all around it is red and white. Or possibly a blue one too, instead of just the controllers, and then you got this black tablet and stuff. Again, I'm being a bit picky and stuff like that, but they're things I really would love. I think the red one, that should have just been their base sort of colour and stuff like that. Or come out with a Zelda theme one that would have, got people in. It comes just a Zelda theme one with the game. Instead of people could have got that. So yeah, storage is another thing that's been revealed since on Nintendo's website. So it's 32 gig storage. It is, I believe, 6-inch 720 capacitive touchscreen. Capacitive touch is great. Now we can actually use it something like a smartphone in terms that you can touch multiple points at once. It's not that sort of that push-in sensor with one point. 720p I think is awesome. I think for battery-wise, especially on a screen that size, you don't need bigger. Battery life, 2.5 to 6 or 6.5 hours depending on the game. I could see things like, that's okay for me, at least for now. They said that Zelda Breath of the Wild would be about 3 hours or so. I think that's okay. For me, it was like, as long as it's got minimum of 3, and that's an intensive game, at least from my belief. So I think that's good. 6 hours or so, I can see games like the, what's it called? Octopath, what's it called? There's an awesome looking game. It sort of has this Final Fantasy Tactics, Everless sort of feel to it, cross between a Bravely Default, but it's this 2D sort of side-scrolling RPG. Octopath, can't remember the name of it. Remind me in the comments below. I'm sure I'll know it once this is finished. But I was excited to see games like that, and I could see games like that maybe having up to 6 hours battery life. But yeah, going on to the storage, 32 gig. I was hoping we'd at least get 64 gig, and this is because, with the Flash games, they probably won't require any installs. They're much faster. Everything's direct onto that. Save files will hopefully be going onto those cards. But if you're buying games digitally, there becomes a bit of a problem, especially at 32 gig that's not including formatting, the operating system and stuff. And also, although they said micro SD support, the read and write speeds from a micro SD is obviously limited compared to directly from the flash memory on the Switch, so that can become an issue there, sort of a bottleneck possibly, and also that's more energy going to that part of the system when you've got micro SD. I guess that's going nitpicking. Maybe that's not much. I don't know the science and sort of the tech behind that, but I do know in terms of read and write speeds and stuff like that, it's more limiting than having everything directly on that Switch flash memory. So I would have loved to at least seen 64 gig, and we may get that down the track. Who knows? And yeah, just going back to some games that I'm remembering now, it was awesome to see a Fire Emblem, I believe Fire Emblem Warriors, Hyrule Warriors style Fire Emblem, I believe. Awesome to see that there. Shin Megami Tensei, really cool to see. I've never played a Shin Megami Tensei game. Persona 5 will be my first one. This is direct, or the mainline Shin Megami Tensei games, I believe. Possibly number 5 or so. That was really cool. Yeah, cool to see some other things like Dragon Quest 1 and 2 Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 come to the Switch. Things like Xenoblade no, not Xenoblade, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. That's awesome too. I'll probably play them on the PlayStation 4 though. But still, it is bringing some awesome stuff to it. Again, we got so little on these things. It was good that at least that we got announcements though. But yeah, overall, there's some of my highlights, my concerns. Actually, the last concern I should mention, this is the biggest one and why I'm not getting a Switch day one, unfortunately, or the main reason, and that is, although it's $299 US, which I was hoping it would have been $249 US, in Australia, and this is after tax and everything, it is about $350 US dollars, so it's 469.95 Australian dollars. Canadian and Australian dollars about 1 to 1, I believe. That equates to 462 Canadian. I don't know how much is Canadian. I believe it's less though than what we're paying, and I have a feeling maybe we are paying the most for the Switch. Maybe England are paying more with the pounds. I don't know, but it's too much for me. I mean, that is much more than a PS4 with a game, and Xbox One S with 3 games or so. So unfortunately, I can't afford it just yet, but I did manage to pick up the Zelda Master Limited Edition, as I mentioned. Even though it's missing the slate still, the carrying case, it is something that went out after 24 hours. I knew I might not get this again, and this is something I've been really excited for a long time, so I thought I'll get that, and then at least I've got that game, and if I can't resist the urge, I'll get on the Wii U and play. Otherwise, I'll wait. I've got uni, I've got all these other awesome games coming in the PS4. So then when the time comes, I'll get the Switch, hopefully with a bundle, maybe with Splatoon, Mario Kart 8. I like to wait until there's a few games. I may even wait until Super Mario Odyssey comes out. Awesome game. Loved everything about that. Really excited, so I can't say anything better. But yeah, I'll leave it on that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in your comments down below what you think. I'm sure that everyone has many different thoughts and opinions. It can also depend on which country you're from, pricing, everything, games you're into. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for sharing, and subscribing. And until next video, stay spot on.